We're at Donnie Thompson's storage shed, which is a hardcore home gym for sure. And there's so much awesome stuff in there. I'm like a kid in a candy store.
All the stuff I've drug over the past 30 years is in there, you know what I mean? It's like from being a gym owner to having powerlifting gyms and stuff like that.
Let's go inside. Let's take them in now.
This is our overspill stuff, and so we all had this jammed in the original gym, and so when we got this built, since it's covered from the weather, we can put it back here now, and just got to keep the guide rods well oiled and stuff like that. And this isn't like lesser equipment out here. This is like, I put stuff out here that I thought if it did get wet or whatever, it's not going to hurt it. And so that's what made it out here, because it's used all the time.
And he's got Paramount, Dynabody, hammer strength, stuff that looks like it was just welded together with some pads thrown on top. I'm like, this isn't like, hey, I just did a one-stop shop with the company and just got all this stuff. This is, I mean, they got the Legasaurus over here, guys. Have you ever seen the Legasaurus? I've never even been on one. You even got a sign for it.
I bought that back in 1996, and I got the name off of The Simpsons back then, because they had Truckosaurus on an episode back in the 80s or something like that.
It's Truckosaurus, the movie.
We covered it with the veil, like a big canvas tarp.
Yeah.
And I had a welder down with a piece of grinding metal. And when we pulled the thing off, we had all the lights off in the gym, and everybody in the gym was there. And we pulled it off, and the grinder hit, and sparks were flying over. And I had a big, strong muscle guy up top named Mark Bo Blackberg, who was doing leg presses with it, and everybody went crazy. It's like a rock show. You
know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of like getting in the tower in a pool, lifeguard tower. You have to get way up here.
Lifeguard tower, or climbing up for the high dive.
Here, right?
Yep, and you'll once you do one rep, you'll move your feet around where you need to go.
Oh, am I good?
Yeah, and see if you look at this, Sam, see how it's kind of almost straight? That's kind of where you want to be. So if you want more range, you put your feet lower. Less range, feet higher.
You know, this looks like a gimmick.
Yeah, it does, but it's not. Back in the 90s, gym members, like your paying monthly membership people, they were so intimidated by this thing. It's like, we have to climb up, we have to climb. And it's like, that's why only like a little over 400 were ever made.
Yeah, when these things go for sale, they're gone in 10 minutes.
Yeah, now people know the function of them is for real.
Yeah.
They want them big time.
What number is that, Donnie?
178.
You got a number? Dude, there's just so many cool things lying around here. What is this?
That's from AbMat.
That's the preacher pad. You got the sand dune stepper.
Sand dune, another box squat.
You got
more rollers from Ram Company. Those are rubber rollers.
Okay, so you're the body tempering guy, of course, and I've never seen the rubber rollers.
Yeah, we partnered up with Ram.
Yeah.
Planet Ram, and they use them for training and stuff, and we use them for body tempering and a little bit of training too.
This is your tempering area?
Yeah, and we got tempering rods all over the place.
Yeah, they do.
We had promotional fat pads we did, so when my fat pad from Rogue turned 10 years old, we had a monster fat pad made to celebrate, and we just like made 50 of them, and when they sold out, and that was to celebrate a decade of fat. I don't know many people that make money off of the name fat, you know, but all those guys teased me when I was a kid, you know, you fat tub of lard, you fat, nah, eat your heart out, you know, paid for my house.
Gotcha, Caterpillar.
Yeah.
Well, this is the centerpiece, and there's a card at the top of the screen where you guys can see the squat video we did, and that's why I'm wearing this outfit. But this is basically it looks like a meat platform. It's carpeted. You've got all the gold York plates from, if you guys look at some old powerlifting photos, these are the plates that were used. They're not easy to get. They're probably worth their weight in gold. And then this is one bar that exists.
Yeah, the old Matador bar.
The old Matador bar. You guys do squats every Tuesday.
Yeah, every Tuesday.
Yeah, how long has that been going on?
25, 27 years, something like that.
Wow.
Yeah, Mark Bo Blackberg made that. He's a machinist, and he made a lot of things in here for me, and he made a couple of the rollers and the center tap, the fat bells and stuff, and he made this for me back in 99 or something like that. Yeah,
but I mean, like, we're just getting, like, this is the kind of area where they do a lot of upside down hanging stuff. It's just the tractioning for the spine. Yeah. I'm standing underneath a bunch of Rhino bars, barbell bars.
Tsunami.
All these things, tsunami bars, the flexi bars. I mean, there's stuff everywhere. Like, literally every like little bit of eye like movement here, you're gonna find something else like this. The circle of strength. Check this out. This is.
It's the only one of its kind ever in history. I didn't look at a picture and get. I was watching Gunsmoke one morning at 6 o'clock in the morning because we were supposed to show up to do cardio.
Yeah.
And one of my training partners didn't show up, and that's back when I was really heavy.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, I'd rather just sit here and watch Gunsmoke than do cardio. And this Medicare commercial came on, and this graph went up in a circle. I'm like, that's it, the circle of strength.
Yeah.
Because I was trying to design all these racks for the fat bells, and nothing was hitting me.
Yeah.
And then this hit me, and then my buddy Dutch got a guy named Kevin and helped me make it, and he engineered CAD drawing, and holy crap, it came to fruition. It's one of the best blessings I've ever had.
Look at this. This is what you would see as a dumbbell rack. There's no dumbbell rack in here. He's got the circle of strength, which all of his fat bells are lined around it, going up to 150 pounds. So you invented that, basically a kettlebell. You could stick your arm in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I came up with fat bells in 05, slinging those kettlebells right there. Actually, this is 10 years in the making. I loved arched inclines from the old moon benches in the 50s and Perillo's arched incline he made in the 80s and 90s, and a guy named Jim Teziak, who I bought his arched incline in 94, 30 years ago. So I wanted an arched incline, but it wasn't working on the shoulders real well.
Yeah.
And I was going to design a pad that worked, and it took me 10 years.
This? Yeah.
Yeah, so we had everyday angles right. We moved the lower lumbar up, the pad a little up, but this we figured out was a positioning pad because you're already in an environment that you don't move around.
Yeah.
So I came up, we call it split pad technology, SPT, and each pad, we made it slippery so your scaps glide.
Yeah.
And now there's no impingement on the shoulders. You see this, Sam, how his shoulders, as he goes down, he'll make contact with the pad, but each scapula can glide because there's two pads, not one. So it's not stretching underneath of them, it's moving. Yeah. The pad literally moves.
It's great. It feels really good with the fat bells too. That's the Thompson fat pad right here.
Yeah, right.
That's something else you made up.
Yeah, this happened. Dr. Lee told me if we want to quit hurting our shoulders, we need a bench pad that's made for men, not women and children. It sounded like a line from the movie, right? Yeah. And so I was like, well, what do we need? He goes, you need thickness for slight scapular movement, not a lot, just a little. Yeah. And then that'll cut down on impingement. And you need wider for positioning. He goes, look how big you guys are. You have, this is his words, not mine. You have glenohumeral overhang under load. And I was like, okay. But if you see regular 11-inch benches, the shoulders are under load and they're in midair. Yeah. You know? So that doesn't happen with the fat pad. So
these are the Havak Triads?
Yeah, Derek's Havak Triads, yep.
Yeah. So we have some of these in our gym. They're the kabuki ones. Yeah. So those are the Kyu bells that, this guy makes them for him. So
yeah, Derek worked with Kubaki.
Yeah, he's a great guy. I like his sliders. He makes a lot of. He's an inventor.
Yeah, we have the sliders right over there.
You got the sliders?
Yeah, we got them.
They're great for stretching.
Yeah,
they're fantastic.
Prototype there, the pull-down bar. See the Triad pull-down bar?
This?
Yep.
Look at this bad boy.
3 different grips.
Yeah. Look at this.
And what's funny, Havak was out of California. I think he's in Hawaii now, but he had that metal piece made here.
Really?
Yeah. This power press is, a lot of people love this thing.
Yeah.
And some people don't use it at all.
If you're too lazy to lay down on bench day, then you just never stop standing up. Yeah. So it's an extra layer of laziness.
Groney came up with a tricep exercise that's actually pretty good. Keep your elbows down like this, and you're going to press like this.
Okay. Yeah. So like this.
Yeah. That's it.
Yep.
And it's actually pretty good, and that's basically all the weight you need, You'll just 10 or 12 of those bad boys start screaming the triceps.
Do I look jacked, Sam?
Yeah.
It's great, man. Before we even get to the barbells, I don't even know what this is. What the hell is it?
That's a Tricep Machine. It's from the HQ Tricep. It's just,
Can you show us?
Yeah. What we do now, it's like, this is from the 90s, right? So we'll get in here, get myself positioned, right?
Yeah.
I know this is exactly right where I want to be. Those things drop off, and so I'll do my extensions. I do about 20 of these things. Yeah. And when I'm done, all I have to do is this.
You didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to do either. I was looking at this like, I don't know how I'm going to get out of that.
25 years before I figured this out. And when I'm done resting, I don't even have to get up. Then I just take it back, lean these back a little bit, and start again. I mean, you know, the joke's on me on this one.
I didn't know either.
The only thing is, like, when I'm done, you don't want to hit these things, so you got to kind of squeeze through. Yeah. And then not hit them. Then you just have to wiggle around to where you think it is best suits you. Does it hurt your elbows at all?
It doesn't.
Oh, no, it doesn't hurt mine either.
It doesn't hurt my elbows. I think the main thing, again, with me is my long arms. Makes arm machines, like, you know, it just differentiates them a lot. But I would have never figured this out.
There's a lot of room.
If I didn't watch you first. Yeah. We got to talk about these barbells that are just littering this room. What in the heck?
So this is the arm ones. That's the old Criterion bar Bruce Pearson made. It was called, they used Gaspari, a bodybuilder, to thing, but Gaspari had nothing to do with the design. Yeah. This Bruce Pearson, he's out of Arkansas. He made a Criterion line of equipment.
What's over here? Like, what is going on here?
Yeah, so this is our, a lot of these fat bars Bo Blackberg made for me back in like 99 and 2000. Typical bars. I got the original Buffalo bar here. Original Crep and Sec safety squat bar.
I mean, this has some Superman tape
no cheating. No cheating. This tape's been on here since like 2000. So
I got to ask you, why do you have so many of these bars? Like for what you do and what you did, why do you have so many?
So this was
bars? What
this
do you do
was
with
the
them?
size of the sleeve of a barbell, right?
Yeah.
This one here. This one was a little larger. I think it's 2 3/8 here.
Yeah.
And then this was a 3-inch bar called a Kong bar, and this weighs 50 pounds, 52 pounds right here.
Yeah.
It's not solid, but it still weighs, and I got this out of Mold in South Carolina. Back in '99, Dave Tate from Elite FTS gave me an article about Vasily Alexeev, and he said he would, on his farm, do his own, he was his own coach, and he was going to do his own training. The only time he needed a coach was at the contests, at the meets, because they could tell him what time he's up and all this other stuff, right?
Like a handler.
Yeah, so he said he didn't really need a coach, he coached himself.
Yeah.
And so he said at home he would do different size axle wagon wheels. He had 3 different kinds, and he would clean and jerk them. He said they were so cumbersome that when he went back to a 20-kilo barbell, he could crush it. And I'm like, well, why aren't we doing that in powerlifting? Yeah. So I had Bo Blackberg make me some back then, and they worked incredibly well. And I never used an ollie bar again until a meet.
This is your dad back here, right?
Yeah, that's my dad when it was his rookie season in the NFL.
There's a lot of history on these walls, a lot of really cool pictures. I mean,
so like,
I know a lot of you guys know Ed Cohn. There's Ed at 1,003 pounds with a walked out squat at 242.
So you have like Ed had the all-time total for a couple years. Bolton had it for a year or so. Frank's had it for like 7 years. And Paul Children's had a 308 total for like 7 years. None of these guys train the same. They all train different, but they all got to the top of the mountain. Yeah. So if that peak of Everest or whatever, you know, is the prized possession, which is the all-time total, right? If that's the winner, right? How Cohn went his own path, Franks went his own path, Bolton went his own path. Everybody took a different path. No one did the same thing. Yeah. So one way is not the only way. Right. That's my point.
Everyone's always looking for the one best way.
So when people start bashing these guys and what they did and stuff like that, it's like, you know, whatever it did work. Their flag eye was there. You know, Cohn was there, Bolton was there, Franks was there, Childress was there. You know, their flag's already there, you know.
Wow, there's just so many things here. There's a lot of B-roll, guys. You can get all the eye candy you want there. But do you mind showing us? Can we look at your office?
Yeah. Let's go in there.
So he's got the storage shed here, which is this looks like to be about 2,000 square feet. This room.
Yeah, roughly.
So literally, the weight room is right here, and we're just going to go right into this. Thank you. Bam. This is such a cool room. I didn't even realize there's a giant TV screen up there. Wow.
Yeah.
That is the
85-inch both surround sound.
85-inch. The smell in here is amazing. It's got this nice wood smell. So you have your gym and you have your office.
Yeah.
It's kind of like my gym.
And then we have this bar.
Yeah, the bar is awesome. This can't say enough about it. I got these lights, and it wasn't even hard to put in. You know, I could do all these different colors and stuff like that. Yeah. Whatever mood I'm in, you know. So,
but the thing that before we started working out, this picture wall right here, this is what year Colts?
1962.
1962 Colts. And before they became the Indianapolis Colts, they were the Baltimore Colts.
Right.
And these guys, the coolest thing that you said about this was that all these guys played football professionally, and then they'd have to go to work after it because
you had to have a second job in the off season, or you couldn't make ends meet.
Yeah.
You know, two of the better defensive ends in the league are the Bosa brothers, right?
Yeah.
One just played in the Super Bowl with San Francisco, the other's with the Chargers, right?
Yeah.
So this guy here is named Palmer Powell, who played with my dad, and my dad and him were friends, and they used to do work together because he was an O lineman and my dad was a D lineman. They would stay after practice and work together along with a few other these guys, right? That's the Bosa brothers' granddaddy right there.
Oh, that's the what?
The Bosa brothers. That's their grandfather, granddaddy.
Oh. So when did you first have this home? When did you start like having it like at home instead of going to a gym?
So my friend Robbie bought in his phone one day in a place I was renting. And I liked the place I was renting, and I had a good landlord and stuff, but I was there 4 years, right? And he goes, this is what you paid. And he showed me the price, and it was like, he goes, you could be living in a house at Lake Murray on the lake for this money. And I'm like, holy cow. And I didn't realize I had been paying, because rent was like $1,500 a month, right?
Yeah.
I was like, holy smokes, that, you know, I'm over $100,000 here, you know? So anyway, we started looking for properties, and we found this place, and we said, let's build the gym first, because that's the most expensive.
Yeah.
Because the house I was renting was only like $900. So I figured we'd get this first and then redo the house.
Yeah.
So that's, we did it in those two orders. So we were only a year apart and when we could move in. And so we did the gym first, and then we did the house second. Priorities.
You had the home gym before the home.
Exactly.
You had the home gym before the home.
And it was, but the biggest thing is I wanted to find a resting place for everything. I didn't.
Yeah.
You know, there was no way I could move gym equipment much longer.
Yeah.
You know, there's just no way.
Oh yeah. I mean, even this amount of equipment is
like you have more equipment than I do.
I don't know.
Can you imagine moving that stuff?
I'll just leave it there. It's done.
Yeah.
It's not going anywhere.
There's just no.
I got you.
Yeah, but the other thing is like the freedom of you know, training when you want, or if you don't want to train, you know, there's no hassle.
There's no excuse when the gym is 10 seconds away.
Yeah. And then when we have visitors and stuff, we never have, you know, nobody really ever goes in the house unless you want to show them something. You know?
Right. Yeah.
They want to stay out here.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. We were all hanging out here. So I mean, you would recommend home gym to people then?
Yeah. If they're going to use, if they're actual lifters, you know, like if you've been training for decades and stuff like that, or, you know, not even decades, but if you have not stopped and go, oh yeah, well I took a few years off. Anybody can say, oh, I took a few years off to do this or that. You're not. That's not serious. Once you start training, you never stop.
Yeah.
There's no breaks. You know, because you can't. I couldn't. You're in a love affair with lifting weights all the time. So you're going to lift by yourself, with a group, however you can get it in. You know, you're going to train.
Yeah, it's kind of hard not to when you live.
Yeah.
Like your gym is in your backyard.
And I also wanted to be in a position where I didn't have to depend on anybody's membership money to stay afloat.
Yeah.
So I don't have to ask anyone for money. That's off the table. You know, if you want to cover how much do I owe you? Nothing. I don't want anything from you. You know? I don't have to. Yeah, it's like I was gonna have a gym again, like because I got out of commercial gym business because this guy walked in one day and I'm like, my whole life depends on him paying $29.95 a month.
Yeah,
that's not real strong.
Right.
You know, that's not a good business plan. And so I was like, I'm out of this business. So I sold it and all, and I was like, I want this gym back again one day, but I don't want to have a membership. Any memberships paying for it. Right. And that's what we did it. It took 20 years, but it happened.
Well, it's an amazing place. It's one of the coolest gyms I've ever been in, definitely.
I appreciate
the amount of history and stuff in there is so packed. Like I'm just standing there for I've been here for like 3 or 4 hours now. I'm just like, it's just like my eyes are just like there's something to fixate on everywhere you're looking.
But you remember the gold hundreds you liked from?
Yeah.
So, but Levi and I were like 3 years ago. Why don't we use these? Because we were like just pretty much they were like a shrine. And so we're like hell. So 3 years ago, right, Levi, we started using them. Yeah. So now every Tuesday we have goal. Even like for me, I only have one, but Levi goes 2, 3, 4 goals. But so they're used all the time now. So that's kind of cool, using that old historical stuff, and nothing sits around. Nothing sits around, and even the black hundreds from York get used on the leg presses and stuff.
Yeah. Well, thanks for having me.
Hey, thank you.
I really appreciate it.
You and Sam are always welcome.
This guy's awesome, guys. Check out the training video I did, and check out all the links below for all the different places you can buy Donnie's products. They're incredibly awesome stuff that this guy's invented.